Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people. For quite some time now, I have wanted to do a side-by-side comparison of the exact same game being played on PC and Xbox One. Well, in my case, an Xbox One X. I originally wanted to do this with Grand Theft Auto 5, but I don't know, when Rockstar themselves says that the PC version is the definitive version and it's a better experience, I think that's kind of going into it a little bit prejudiced. Um, Here we're doing a loading time test, and you can see that we're already in the game ready to launch while Astroneer has just gotten past the credit screen. Um, but the reason I chose Astroneer is it claims to be Xbox One X enhanced. At least that's in the Windows Store, or not Windows Store, Xbox Store, whatever it's called. I don't know. I got it with Games of Gold. So I got Games for Gold for $1 through the end of the month. But it says it's Xbox One X enhanced. I think it just means slightly better graphics. So I wanted to compare the two. And we'll look at PC specs versus Xbox specs towards the end of the video just to see the difference. But even though we've gotten to the end of the loading solar system loading bar, which I kind of like that little loading bar. I think they should add it to the PC version too. Not that I'd really get to look at it that long, but you know. Okay, that was just a humble brag. But anyways, I kind of like it. Don't like this, though. I don't want to press A to start. Just go into the next screen. So that was 1 minute and 10 seconds, roughly, longer than it took the Xbox One to load the game than it did my PC. And again, we'll talk about PC specs. I did the same type of test launching the tutorial. I synced them up to where they are launching the tutorial at the exact same frame. For some reason, the Xbox blinked when I did that. And if you look at the graphics, look at the flames shooting out of the thrusters. I think they look better on PC. I don't know. And I think this animation, much smoother on PC. There's not as much blur going on in it. And then once we land in, of course, landing in on the Xbox takes a little bit longer. And I think that comes down to hard drive. The Xbox One X has a 1 terabyte mechanical hard drive, old school hard drive, that I think, and I could be wrong, runs at 5400 RPM, which, I mean, that's a basic hard drive. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I could not find stats. So, looking at these, at first glance, it almost seems like the Xbox has slightly richer colors, but I think it's the particles that are in the air on PC that we're looking through that kind of causes things to wash out a little bit. Definitely better lighting effects and better shadows, though, on PC. So then I wanted to start a new game. Again, I synced them up so that the ships took off at almost the exact same moment. It happened like in between frames on my Xbox footage. So there wasn't a whole lot I could do to get them exact, but that half a frame shouldn't make a difference. As we come in, they both experience texture pop in, but the Xbox One takes a lot longer to get detailed textures than PC does. Again, I think the lighting and the shadows here just look much better. And we'll look at some still shots from this scene in just a minute as well. But I just think overall, the PC side wins it, especially with those experimental clouds. And of course, experimental clouds are part of the options that you can turn on in the PC version that you cannot get to in Xbox One X. In fact, you can't do anything about post-processing, shadow quality, effects quality, or anti-aliasing. You can't do anything about VSync. You can't change the brightness. I usually run Astroneer in 4K, but I bumped it down to 1080 for this video. But just look at the lighting effects, look at the shadows, how they're softer when it's a diffused light, but like the light coming off the visor is casting really crisp shadows, and that's just not as true for the Xbox side. It's kind of blurry shadows instead of soft shadows, and they're not the same thing. But we'll take a look at some side-by-side shots, PC, and then I'll flip it so you can see the other half. You can see this is where it was off by about half a frame on that launch. Yeah, like I said, not a lot I could do about it. But then we flip it over, and I just think that the colors with the experimental clouds, I just think it looks better on PC. I really do. Here again, it does initially look a little washed out on PC, But I really think that that has to do with the particles in the air, but I could be wrong, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about that as well. But definitely, again, shadows look much better, and the lighting engine is much better on PC. It just looks a little more, even though this game's kind of cartoony, realistic. And here you can really see the detail in the shadows and the lighting that I'm talking about. Granted, it's slightly different times of day in game, but you still can get a good general idea of what I'm talking about. Look at those shadows on the PC side. They're gorgeous. They're absolutely beautiful. So there we go. My PC is running an i7 8700K overclocked 4.3 gigahertz, NVIDIA RTX 2080. The hard drive we talked about, and 32 gigabytes of RAM, whereas the Xbox One is an 8-core custom Jaguar chip with an integrated GPU and only 12 gigabytes of GDDR5 RAM shared between the video and the CPU. So I don't want to come across as though I'm just kind of like taking a dump all over consoles, because I'm not. Even though I am a PC gamer, I spent over half my life as a console gamer before I switched to PC. And to this day, I still own consoles. I have a PlayStation 4, I have the Xbox One X, I had a 360, a PS3, a PS2. Behind me, just literally a foot and a half behind me, is a wall full of about a dozen and a half consoles and handheld games. So it's not as though I don't occasionally slum it with you console peasants. The PC Master Race allows me to do that. I am granted immunity. I'm sorry. Okay, so when I say console peasants, I do mean it with the greatest of affection, and not as a term of derision. Because I, too, like I said, go slumming with you console peasants. I complain about it the whole time, but there are games that I want to play that are only on console. And there's a benefit of consoles that PC rarely sees. Yeah, there are some PC exclusives, but not nearly as many as there are on consoles. Plus, consoles are just way more convenient than PCs. You plug them in, occasionally an update needs to download, and unless it's my PS4 where that update then bricks the system and I have to fix it every single update, no exaggeration, consoles are just easier, whereas PCs have updates to the operating system, to the games, to drivers, on and on and on and on. But you also can do more with your PC than just game and browse the web and watch videos. You can do a lot more with it. But then there's price. My Xbox One X, I managed to get it $100 off, but they're normally, I think, $499. My PC has $3,500 worth of parts in it. So yeah, I could have bought 7 Xbox One X's for the price I paid for my PC over the years. Granted, PCs can be upgraded over time, whereas consoles, you just got to buy a new one when the next generation comes out. And you can save yourself money in the long run. I'm on the same power supply and case and fans and everything for the past, like, 12 years. So that's not a repeated expense over and over again. But anyways, guys, that's my comparison of just Astroneer on PC versus Xbox One X. Love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below, or head over to our Discord server, which is, there's a link in the description down below to that, and let us know what you think there as well. So until next time, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay vainglorious.